Hey, what's up everyone? This is Champizard here. So this is a card I recently worked on. It's a PSA 8 Dark Blastoise Holo that I picked up. I thought it was in pretty good condition, but I wanted to crack it out, give it a cleaning, work on it a little bit, and see if there's any issues going on with the slab. Because it looked pretty clean on the back, not much whitening or anything, so I want to see why it got an 8. And potentially resubmit it to CGC, which is what I do a lot for my personal collection, due to their cheaper grading fees and quick turnaround times. So as you can see this card right here, it's got a little bit of whitening I can see after I take it out of the slab. It's got some scratches on the holo. So a couple things I want to do is I'm going to treat it with Kurt's Recovery. And Kurt's Recovery is an abrasive kind of polish that helps remove some of the things on the card and get rid of some scratches. Depending on how deep the scratch is, it may or may not get rid of it. Deeper scratches are really hard to get rid of, and there's the more abrasive sort of concoction that you use, the more you risk damaging the card. So there's only micro scratches on here, so I've had a lot of luck getting rid of lots of scratches before with Kurt's Recovery, and you have to be careful that you don't push too hard. Some people are really aggressive with it. I choose to go a little bit lighter just to be on the safer side and not accidentally damage the card. And I'll usually do a couple of passes. As you'll see here, I'm getting ready to do a second pass of the Kurt's Recovery. But after you finish, one thing you like to do is wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. And I'll check after, like I'm doing right here, to see how it's looking, see if the scratches look any better. I saw some slot improvement. These scratches on this holo were a little deeper, so I couldn't get rid of them completely, though I did get rid of some of the minor ones. So I went and did a second batch of Kurt's Recovery. And I once again cleaned it off with microfiber cloth. But you can't just keep doing Kurt's Recovery forever. That's why you do a couple of short 2 to 3 10-second sessions is how I do it. I'll usually apply for about 10 seconds to the area, scrub it a little bit with a polish applicator, get about 10 seconds and see if there's any improvement. I usually try to say between 2 and 4 applications of Kurt's Recovery, because the more you use it, the more you risk damaging the card, the more you risk the grading company that you're grading with seeing it as altered, and you just don't want to go overboard with it, because Kurt's Recovery is not like card care polish, which is a lot less abrasive and a lot less likely to do anything to the card. It doesn't remove things from the card like Kurt's Recovery does. So I'm doing another application here to see how it does. Once again, I'm going to clean up with the microfiber cloth. The microfiber cloth is the kind of things you want to use when you're cleaning these cards, as microfiber cloths are very gentle. They're not going to scratch the card or damage the card. They help get the recovery off, which you don't want to leave any residue on there, because if you send it in to PSA or CGC or Beckett with residue on it, you're going to get brought back with a altered grade. And I've graded dozens of cards here recently, and I will clean and polish all my cards, a lot of vintage. Like I've done a first edition Charizard recently that I did a short on, that I regraded with CGC from a PSA 7 to a CGC 8.5, and I was able to remove some scratches on the holo using Kurt's Recovery, and it came back graded just fine. But you do have a card here and there that will get hit with altered, and that's just a risk you take, and just part of when you do clean cards, you can only take a risk with it. That happens every once in a while. It's not like a very common thing. Usually I'll do it once every like 20, 25 cards. I might get like an altered card. So, you'll hear a lot of people say that when you're cleaning these cards, like with polish and recovery, get rid of scratches and stuff, you're going to get caught back with an altered. They don't know what they're talking about. I've done this with dozens of cards, and it only happens sometimes, and usually that's because you have a little bit of residue on the holo when cleaning it, which is just something that happens sometimes. Maybe you just didn't scrub it thoroughly enough, or anything like that. So if you ever hear somebody say that if you polish a card, it's going to get caught as altered, that's unless you just go way overboard with it, you're just really too aggressive and damage the card, or you just don't clean it up properly, you're probably going to be fine. You're probably not going to get caught with it. Like I said, I've only been caught with a couple out of like several dozen, and really the polish is just kind of cleaning the card. It doesn't really do anything to actually alter the card. It's not adding anything to the card, like trying to fix whitening. It's not like you're coloring it or anything. There's a lot of dispute between that. But you see this Dark Blastoise holo, after I've done that, I also gave it a batch of Kurt's Card Care Polish after the recovery to kind of finish it off. The holo looks really good, and then I kind of inspect the back to see if there's anything going on with the back. And you can see some whitening in the bottom right there. There's also an edge lift in the top right corner. You can see a little lip right there, a little lift that probably could have brought that down the edge grade a little bit. So that's not like a major lift, and so I'm going to try to fix that. So I'm going to put it in the humidor for 24 hours. And what the humidor does is it humidifies the card to make it more malleable for treatment. And you can see after I set it in for the day, the card's really curved. That means the card's had a lot of humidity put into it, and it's ready to treat. It's going to respond a lot better to like treatment. It's going to make the parts of the card a lot more malleable to roll. This is Kurt's card tool that comes with his card care kit. I just roll it right there along that lifted edge. It actually kind of flattens it. It's a lot easier to do that once you've humidified the card. There's a lot of ways to do that. For some miner like this, I just go with the humidor. It's tried and true and it's safe. And I'm going to do the bottom right here as well, just because I was kind of looking at that corner, and there is a little bit of whitening right there. I was going to say that was just like something that would come off or what was going on there. Ended up not really doing it. So like right here between, I'm checking the card, seeing if I'm seeing any improvement. And I'll go back down and I'll keep treating it. And if you're ever doing anything like this, just make sure you get a penny sleeve, because if you take the Kurtz Card Care tool or any kind of tool like this that you've on a card that you've humidified, and you go straight into using it on the card itself, you're going to risk really damaging the card. The penny sleeve is a barrier so you can simply work on the card. And you don't ever want to be too aggressive with it. You don't want to really dig too hard. You just want to be gentle enough to apply some pressure to really kind of roll it. You can see here that I've been working on it a little bit. It's already looking a lot better, but now I need to dry the card and really make sure that we get that lifted edge flat. I'm going to go ahead and clean parts of the back with some card spray onto a cotton pad. This is good for just cleaning the general cleaning of the card. There was a little spot in the bottom right as well. I took this precision Q-tip to. I was also seeing that whitening would come off to see if there's like a speck or anything. It didn't budge. There's also a little spot right there I'm scrubbing at now that I was also looking at. It didn't come out. It was just on the car, like a little bit of discoloration that might could bring the surface card down a little bit. It didn't respond to treating it, so I didn't want to be too hard with it. Didn't want to risk damaging the card or anything. So I'm going to finish off just hitting that corner a little bit more to see how it does. And then after this, we have to dry the card to flatten it out, dry it, and make sure that corner stays down and responds to the treatment. So what I do is you put it through a couple of acrylic plates with parchment paper, unbleached parchment paper to be exact. This will keep the card dry, and you clamp it. And I usually clamp for about a day or two, depending on how I humidify the card. With humidor, usually a day or two of clamping would do the trick. I actually swap the parchment paper out a couple times because it would kind of absorb some of the moisture. I swap the parchment paper out, put it back, and let the card continue to dry. And after about a day later, it's actually been 2 days. 2 days later, you see right here that the card's dry. It's a lot flat, and you look at that corner right there, and the corner just looks way better. The corner is flat. It's no longer lifted like it was. I was really happy how well it responded. It was a quick, easy fix. It wasn't really the corner that was lifted. It was like close to the corner. And the card overall just looked way better. We got some of the scratches off. We'll get that corner fixed, and it's looking ready to go. Amazing Charizard, please like and subscribe for more content. I mean, cracking, cleaning cards, and repairing cards. And I'll see you next time.